Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. Of course, you can follow me on Twitter and on Vero at Movies TV Mad. And welcome to Thursday's edition of the dceu Daily. I'm still here in the UK, so I'm in different corners every day with every day's video. We are going to get through this, and then when we go back, it will be on a laptop and the conditions will have a lot more quality to it. So welcome to Thursday's dceu Daily, and Matt Reeves reacts and discusses Ben Affleck's the Batman script, and I think it's very interesting what Matt has said about this, so let's give this a read. The script they sent over, Ben Affleck had written for himself to star in, a film he originally intended to direct before deciding to step back. I read a script that they had that was a totally valid take on the movie. It was very action driven. It was deeply connected to the DCEU, with other major characters from the other movies and other comics popping up. I just knew that when I read it, this particular script was not the way I'd want to do it, Reeves explains. I said, look, I think maybe I'm not the person for this, and I explained to them why I loved this character. I told them that there have been so many great movies, but if I were to do this, I'd have to make it personal, so that I understood what I was going to do with it, so that I know where to put the camera, so that I know what to tell the actors, so that I know what the story should be. This take, I told them, pointing at the script, is a totally valid and exciting take. It's almost James Bondian, but it wasn't something that I quite related to, Reeves says. So what I'd like to do, if you're interested, is I'd like to get involved and find a way to take the story and make it very, very personal and get to the place I want him to be, to make it a Batman story and give him the arc and have the story rock him to his core. I mean, and this is exactly what this film does, by the way. It wasn't going to be another origin story, not with Ben already in the character, but that's what I would do, Reeves told them. Before they got too excited, he dropped the kicker, intended to scare them away for good. I said, but there's the other thing. This is why I think you're not going to want me to direct this movie. I can't even tell you what that story is for months because I have to finish this Apes movie. So he was still doing the final planning of the Apes movie, the third one, when they were talking to him about doing the Batman. And to my utter shock and surprise, they said, you know what, we really would like you to do this, and we will wait. Of course they wanted him. They were desperate. This man is a genius. Matt Reeves is a genius. Of course you want him to make a Batman film. This is one of the biggest diehard Batman fans in the business, and he's a genius. We had no idea what was going on. Dylan Clark, Reeves' longtime producing partner, tells us, Ben is a friend of mine and I love Ben, but I didn't know exactly about those things were happening in his personal life. We didn't find out until much later. Affleck stepped away entirely, leaving Reeves and Clark with a blank slate. Now their version of the Batman could be anything. So riddle me this, Reeves, what's going to be? What is this idea that you were holding so close to your chest? I had this North Star of a guiding principle. Then the fact that there was this moment of transition, out of that came an opportunity to say, okay, what if we didn't do another origin tale? What if instead we went to the imperfect Batman of his early days? So basically, to cut a long story short, what Matt Reeves is saying here, he absolutely loved Ben Affleck's The Batman script, but it wasn't for him. How could he make the Ben Affleck story? It wasn't personal to him. It would make no sense to him. So what he decided to do was start from scratch and do something extremely personal to him. And having seen the Batman, I can tell you this is absolutely a unique personal take to Matt, and it works on every level. It is the best Batman film I have ever seen, but that doesn't delegitimize the other Batman movies. I'm not that type of a guy who comes on here does a video and tells you, I've just seen this brand new film, it's brand new, so I'm gonna just rank it on top of the others for no reason, just because it's the next take. No, this is genuinely something extremely special, hardcore, but it also has a soft centre. And I'm really happy that Matt Reeves has been given his own earth and been allowed by Warner Brothers, who's accused of so many things. I'm surprised Warner Brothers are not accused of hiding the identity of Jack the Ripper. Some of the accusations against this studio, who is the only studio that gives genuine director freedom and artistic integrity, is accused of so much purely because of what happened with Snyder in the inception of the DCEU. So, on March the 4th, you will see what I'm talking about and what Matt was talking about in this interview. There is a lot of stuff that Matt and everybody involved in this picture has been saying, and it's absolutely fantastic, and everything he says just makes perfect sense. And now on to The Rock's Black Adam movie. Dwayne Johnson on Black Adam. One of the things that drew me to Black Adam is his origin. He started out enslaved. Anytime you have a character or any human being who has wrongfully been held down by others, it means so much more when they begin to rise up. So this is one of the elements of Black Adam that I absolutely love as well. That he does come from slavery, so he's got these negative character traits and he does these horrible things and he's sought out to get maximum power. But there's something that you need to understand about Black Adam. All the power that he wanted from the wizard Shazam was not only to break his own chains, but break the chains of others as well. He goes about things probably, or no, not probably, definitely the wrong way. But when you've been held down, as Dwayne talks about here, you know, your attitude is going to be very bitter, twisted, and angry. This is going to be a fascinating take on a fascinating character, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's Black Adam has a huge future, not just as a character, but as part of the shared universe. So, the Flash movie trends on the eve of its first test screening. This is the most important DC movie of the year. It doesn't mean it's going to be the best one. I mean, the Batman is something extremely special. I'm not saying that. It's important because of what this film does. It changes the DC extended live action experience forever. So it trended on the eve of its test screening. We've had the test screening now, and we are going to be getting some leaks and dribbles from the reaction from people. I want you to be very careful though. There's going to be leaks coming out, leaks that are simply not true. There's going to be lies. A very interesting video I saw from Comic Book Cast 2 yesterday, holding elements of the Snyderverse fandom to account for their false lies and propaganda against the future of the DCEU, and talking about them still fighting for a Batfleck movie, even though Ben doesn't want any future for his Batman in terms of pictures, Batman movies going forward. He could still cameo. So I'm not saying he's totally done, but he doesn't want to make Batman pictures anymore. So why are you fighting for this movie? Now, we've just heard from Matt Reeves what an awesome picture Ben's Batman would have been, and I'm gutted and devastated that that's not going to happen. But we must respect Ben's mental health and Ben's wishes. Anyway, CBR have got a write-up about the Flash movie. It's trending and it's test screening. The Flash trends on the eve of the DCEU film's first test screening. When the first test screenings of The Flash reportedly starting tomorrow, the upcoming DCEU film has begun trending on Twitter. With the first test screening of The Flash reportedly set to begin tomorrow, the film, character and TV show are trending on Twitter. The Flash began trending on Tuesday, January the 25th, with much of the focus dedicated to the rumoured test screening on Wednesday. Warner Brothers and the team behind the film have yet to confirm this, but several outlets following the production believe audiences will get their first look at the movie this week. By the way, studios never ever confirm test screenings. get their first look at the movie this week. Fans began sharing their excitement and concerns on Twitter, with many hoping the screening will also mean a teaser for the film will soon be released, and with the CW's The Flash releasing its latest trailer for the return of Season 8, the Scarlet Speedster quickly began trending. And there's just some posts really and excitement. Along with the excitement, a few users discussed what they hope to see in the film. While some mistakenly seem to believe the test screening will mean public footage, it is true that a teaser is likely on the way soon. DC Fandom offered a sneak peek at some footage from The Flash, which is said to borrow elements from the popular Flashpoint comic book event. While the exact plot details are not yet known, many fans are eager to see the multiverse-spanning movie pulling other actors similar to Spider-Man No Way Home. That I can tell you that's definitely happening. Reintroduction of Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker. Another used the Doctor Strange portal and a Robert Pattinson meme to joke about the upcoming Batman appearing in the film. Already Michael Keaton's Dark Knight and Ben Affleck's Caped Crusaders are confirmed as characters in the movie. The Flash will also introduce another version of Barry Allen and see the debut of the dceu Supergirl. Keaton, meanwhile, will be sticking around the shared universe as his elder Batman will prominently feature in HBO Max's Batgirl film, which I think is very exciting. The possibilities for The Flash are certainly endless, with some rumours claiming it will erase the existing DCEU continuity and set up the new film universe moving forward. But until information comes in about test screenings or a trailer is revealed, fans will have to continue speculating about what the film will entail. So, The Flash arrives on November the 4th. So, you can tell by the TV show and the movie trending that people, in fact, are very, very excited for the Flash movie. And despite the fake propaganda merchants saying the opposite, it is not true, because anyone can come on a video or go on Twitter and say any bullshit. But I'm a person working off reality, not wishful thinking. I love what Snyder did. I love Ben Affleck. It's done. It's over. For now, finito. I think we should still hashtag restore the Snyderverse and hope that Zack gets the opportunity to do Justice League 2 and Justice League 3. But now we are moving forward. And I believe we are moving forward in a very intelligent, exciting way, in terms of using the reboot as part of the story, as part of the narrative of this new DC Extended Universe. Missing pieces of the universe have gone, and some characters are trying to investigate where they've gone to. This is part of the new arc of the DCEU, and it's very, very exciting. And finally today, we are going to discuss the enigmatic, fantastic Superman and Lois, which has been absolutely fantastic. I have been so impressed with this show. It's really kind of given us a great interpretation of my favourite fictional character. Tyler is fantastic, and everyone's talking about Season 2. And what's amazing about Season 2, it really is evolving into a true blue Superman show. It really is his show, and we had a huge twist at the end of the 3rd episode, and Screen Rant are talking about it. So it isn't Doomsday ? Superman and Lois spoiler, villain explained. Superman and Lois tease the arrival of Doomsday, but another villain has instead risen in Season 2. We go into who he is and the threat he poses. By the way, Doomsday is coming to Superman and Lois. So this reveal of this character, which we'll talk about in a minute, doesn't replace Doomsday coming in. Doomsday is happening. This is a huge season in this incredible live-action version of Superman. Superman and Lois Season 2 teased the arrival of the Kryptonian monster Doomsday early on, but Episode 3 revealed a different villain altogether. In DC Comics lore, Doomsday is well known as the rampaging beast with spiky protrusions and a dive to do nothing but destroy. Introduced in the early 90s, Doomsday became renowned forever for his role in the death of Superman, with the Man of Steel famously giving his life to defeat the creature. Early on in Season 2, Superman and Lois made clear hints to the arrival of Doomsday. Clark Kent, Tyler Hoechlin, experiences headaches and mood swing tied to visions of a mysterious, powerful creature deep in the mines of Smallville. The presence itself also causes tremors throughout the city because of the sheer impact of it punching its way to the surface. Despite these hints, Episode 3, The Thing in the Mines, finally unveiled that the villain climbing to the planet's surface was not Doomsday at all, but the doppelganger of the last son of Krypton, known as Bizarro. So they've introduced a great version of Bizarro. This was a shock because we were all expecting Doomsday, but it wasn't Doomsday, it was Bizarro. And the design for this version of Bizarro is fantastic. It looks like how he looks like in the comics, and Tyler Hoechlin is also playing him. Tyler Hoechlin is showing wonderful, varied acting, artistic teeth, and I'm really impressed with him. While Doomsday is a legendary supervillain for killing Superman, Bizarro has a much longer history in the comics. Going back to the 50s, Bizarro, like Doomsday, has also been adapted to the big screen and small screen numerous times. Meanwhile, the twist, while a clear reveal that Bizarro will be Superman and Lois' Season 2's primary villain, I don't think that's true. I don't think he's necessarily going to remain a villain. Doesn't necessarily rule out Doomsday, as I've already said, arriving soon either. Here's Bizarro's history in Superman comics and what his role in Superman and Lois could mean. Originally created by Otto Binder and George Pep, Bizarro has gone through numerous iterations over the years. Frequently, Bizarro has been a clone or laboratory creation made by other DC villains, including General Zod, Lex Luthor, and the Joker. Because of that, Bizarro tends to be a somewhat more malleable Superman villain in terms of how he's depicted. Some of Bizarro's traits have nonetheless been fairly consistent in the comics. Bizarro has the same powers as Superman, but flipped in some way. These include powers like freeze vision instead of heat vision, though Bizarro has more straightforward Kryptonian powers too, such as flight, super strength, and invulnerability. Additionally, Superman's kryptonite weakness is also reversed in Bizarro, who actually gains strength from green kryptonite. Now this is very interesting because in Smallville it was the same thing. Bizarro gained strength from kryptonite. I like the pre-Superman Bizarro we got in Smallville, but he's Superman in this series and he looks like proper Bizarro, and it's great. And he's weakened by blue kryptonite. As a villain who has so much history with the Man of Steel, it makes sense that the makers of Superman and Lois would want to bring Bizarro in. But the thing is, when you do something like that, it's got to be good, and it looks really good. As to why Bizarro is the villain of Superman and Lois Season 2 rather than Doomsday, there's only so much that can be said with Season still in its early stages. And interesting, right, Todd did say about Doomsday they could be flipping the narrative. So Doomsday could help Superman defeat Bizarro, forgot his name there for a minute, so they could flip it around, which would be really, really exciting. The creative team of Superman and Lois might have felt that Doomsday being instinctively linked to the death of Superman's story would leave the show obligated to create its own version of the framed story. They may not have felt that Doomsday best served the intended direction of Season 2, leading the show to using him as a misdirection to mask the impending appearance of Bizarro. So we may, who knows, we may not get Doomsday. They may have used Doomsday as a lie, but I think there could be Doomsday in this series. But if there's not this season any Doomsday, I still think bringing in Bizarro and the way they all tricked us all is magnificent. Additionally, Season 2 has adopted a clear theme of the significance of what Superman stands for. This is seen in Superman's ideological conflicts with Lieutenant General Mitch Anderson, Ian Bohen, over the Man of Steel serving the whole world's interest rather than putting America first. In any story where the core is the essence of who Superman is, the best antagonist is someone who represents his opposite. Bizarro as a villainous version of Superman fits that description very well, which may have been why he was chosen as Superman and Lois' Season 2 antagonist. Bizarro has appeared in numerous Superman adaptations, and each has been as different as his portrayals in the comics have been. Bizarro has been seen in many different animated adaptations, such as Superman the Animated Series, where he was depicted as a clone created by Lex Luthor. Bizarro would return for Justice League Unlimited, with Superman's voice actor Tim Daly also providing his voice. Additionally, versions of Bizarro have been seen numerous times before in various live-action movies and TV shows. The Christopher Reeve Superman films did not one but two takes on Bizarro. Specifically, one was the evil Superman who splits from Clark Kent and battles him in the junkyard in Superman 3, with the heavy of Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, Nuclear Man Mark Pillow being another Bizarro as a Superman clone created by Lex Luthor. Smallville also featured its own Bizarro as a ghostly being from the Phantom Zone who takes on the likeness of Clark Kent, Tom Welling, after bonding with some of his DNA. Supergirl would even feature Bizarro version of Clark's Kryptonian cousin, Kara Zor-El, Melissa Benoist, as well. While Bizarro has only just been introduced on Superman and Lois, the show can and seems to be trying to create a completely new take on him. I actually think this is more loyal to the comics than any of the others, and I think this is going to go down as the best take. From the build-up to his arrival to his introduction in his thunderous confrontation with the Man of Steel, Superman and Lois seems to be making its Bizarro the darkest and strongest version yet, while having the same reversed S-shield on his chest as always. Bizarro's aggression and torn cape put more sinister spin on Bizarro than he's usually been given. While he's likely to be around for the long haul throughout Season 2, there's also the possibility that the Doomsday teases might not have been entirely misdirection. Yeah, we just don't know. That's the simple thing, but it was very clever misdirection. Like Bizarro, Doomsday has often been reinterpreted, should I say the word again? Reinterpreted in the adaptations he's been seen in. Doomsday was birthed out of the humanoid Kryptonian Davis Bloom's Sam Witwer on Smallville. The version of Doomsday seen in Batman vs Superman Dawn of Justice was also created by Lex Luthor in the Kryptonian scout ship from the body of General Zod Michael Shannon. The containment suit worn by Bizarro when he emerges from the mine is distinctively like that of Doomsday from the comics, which helped to conceal Bizarro for a little longer. By the same token, it could also be a signal that Superman and Lois is getting two villains for the price of one. First introducing Bizarro before having him mutate into Doomsday, yes. I think Todd wasn't lying about this. He said this is a different type of Doomsday we see. So, could he begin as Bizarro, then become Doomsday? That would be genius. Later in the season, John Henry Irons Wall Parks needing to repair his metal suit into the proper steel suit could also be a hint to this end. John having taken on his proper identity as Steel after Superman's death in battle with Doomsday. Interesting. This would be really cool. They could actually do a properly, comic book accurate Death of Superman story that I'm here for. And who's not going to be in for Superman and Lois Season 3? Wow. Superman and Lois previously brought in Morgan Edge as its villain of Season 1, combining him with the Eradicator and also making him Superman's half-brother, Tal-Rho. That was also a great twist. This demonstrates the show as having a history of reshaping and creating portmanteaus of Superman villains, leaving the possibility of a Bizarro Doomsday combo, one that can't be written off. However, if that doesn't end up happening, Superman and Lois still has a new and decidedly very different portrayal of Bizarro to run with in Season 2. Great article and a great twist. As I said pre this article, Superman and Lois is a great live action version of Superman. And to be honest with you, how Tyler was used in Arrowverse before, because I loved him into Supergirl Season 2, first episode he had, right? But then they were taking liberties with him. But this is fantastic. This is a valid live action version of Superman that you can compare to the others and maybe even say it's equally or if not better than the others. I mean, that's your decision to make. That's my decision to make as a Superman fan. But right now, what Superman and Lois are doing is a chef's kiss. It's absolutely fantastic. This has been the DCEU Daily. I'm Mick, your host with the most. Just ask your girlfriends and your wives. Like, share, please. Share, subscribe, all the things that you need to do to help my channel out. If you want to help me out, if you like what you see, and please hit the notification bell so you never miss this perfection. I'll see you again tomorrow with even more DCEU Daily. Until then, au revoir, goodbye, auf Wiedersehen. See you again tomorrow.